Woohoo! That was an experience. Brand New Cherry Flavor is a new Netflix limited series that is twisted and strange. But is it good? An aspiring film director in the sun-drenched but seamy world of 90s Los Angeles embarks on a mind-altering journey of supernatural revenge that gets nightmarishly out of control. This is based on the book by Todd Grimson, and I haven't read it, so this review is going to solely encompass what is shown in the series. But if the book is anywhere near what is displayed here, it's got to be the stuff of nightmares. Rosa Salazar stars as Lisa Nova. She's a talented but novice filmmaker who arrives in LA for a possible breakthrough directing gig. She quickly discovers the entertainment industry is full of wolves, and if she's not strong, she's gonna be eaten. There's a quiet intensity that she brings to her character. Catherine Keener plays Boro, a mysterious tattoo artist who's way more than just that. She's dark, wickedly strange, and off-putting, and she gives new meaning to the term crazy cat lady. She and Lisa have this oddly dysfunctional relationship that draws them to each other repeatedly throughout the story. Eric Lange plays Lou, a movie producer who meets with Lisa to get her movie made. He also turns out to be not such a nice guy. He's rich, arrogant, sleazy, and always putting on airs. It's hard to know if he can do the things he claims in the entertainment industry or if it's all just spin. He also has some dry comedy that he delivers. There's a good level of sarcastic wit that feels extremely natural from him. And while we're not supposed to like him, there are some brief moments where some sympathy can be extended. Each of these leads have an intensity to them that is palpable, but all in different ways. There are other players that come in and out of the story with varied importance, but these three are the main drivers. Now, this is a pretty graphic film. You don't want to be eating while watching this. And I'm not easily grossed out, but this one did push some buttons for me more than a few times. I'm not going to get into specifics, but body horror is a major component of what we witness in this. So many of the things we watch are just wildly grotesque and messed up. Now, the filmmaking is engrossing. There's a good use of darkness and shadows, but also there will be these slowly flickering or even flashing overhead lights, almost like they're pulsing. And this has a weird and hypnotic effect on the scenes. The show also features wonky angles to keep us off balance, and the camera slowly spins at times to show us how certain substances are affecting the characters' point of view. It's disconcerting, but it's also effective. The special effects are done really well. There's a thing we see that could be a mix of practical effects and CGI, but the way they have it skip frames to give it very jerky movements is creepily dark. And sometimes the show mixes whimsical music with a very dark scene to create just this off-kilter atmosphere. And there are times where it feels like they took the weirdness of Twin Peaks and then smashed it together with a gory and psychologically deranged Clive Barker story, and then took acid to get the final draft. And that's meant to be a compliment also. Lisa is on a seemingly self-destructive journey in an effort to get revenge. She's a very driven and committed character, and Salazar really dives into the role. There's an odd depravity mixed with sweetness that emanates from her. She switches back and forth in emotions rather quickly and with ease, which is ultimately very distressing. Within the story, there's an element of magic or mysticism and folklore that helps to shape the narrative. I do think, however, that the story takes quite a while to get to where we understand what all is going on. It requires a lot of patience to go through the visceral and bizarre imagery to get to the point. But once the story gets us there, I really was enjoying it. It's an art house bizarre horror that is raw and monstrously graphic. The pace is kind of uneven as there are parts that move rather quickly and then other times where the story almost seems to halt, spending a great deal of time on something that just ultimately isn't as impactful as it's made out to be. There are also a few minor characters that feel unnecessary. One, for example, is the girlfriend of a new director. She's almost always wrapped in gauze bandages from some serious facial plastic surgery, and she doesn't add anything to the dialogue. The only reason I can see her being included is for a visual representation of how vapid and self-concerned the entertainment industry can be. The limited series is 8 episodes, with each of them about 40 to 50 minutes long. This is a slow descent into madness, not only for the characters, but for us as the audience. We are exposed to so much that it can mess with your head a little bit. I want to say that I enjoy the character transition of Lisa Nova, but that's hard to do. The journey is engaging, but it's also so darkly twisted that to use the word enjoy makes me sound a bit sadistic. Now, the acting by Salazar, and really from each of the actors, was executed in a way that truly sucked me into their performances. I was hard-pressed to like a lot of them as characters, but they did create memorable ones. Now, I wasn't terribly thrilled with the ending. There wasn't as clear of a resolution that I would have liked, especially given that this is a limited series. If it's not answered here, I highly doubt any further explanation is going to be coming. While we get to see growth with Lisa, which then affects her motivations and actions, the series feels like it just ended, not really accomplishing anything, especially given all the buildup. For me, too much happens to have everything basically unresolved, except for Lisa growing in confidence and understanding who she is. There is so much that occurs that messes with people's lives to have the story just end the way it did. Overall, this is a grotesquely visual horror that is meant to titillate and repulse. The acting is deeply committed with characters that are richly engaging and wildly flawed. The character progressions are mostly not positive, but they can be entertaining. And even though I was entranced by the visceral imagery and disturbing atmosphere, the ending let me down. It's not even writhing in ambiguity, but rather just suffering from a lack of payoff. Now maybe you'll find the ending satisfying or even fitting if you decide to check it out. There is a bunch of sex, nudity, profanity, and horridly gross violence of just about every sort. I give Brand New Cherry Flavor 3 out of 5 couches. So what's the most disturbing horror you've ever seen? Let me know in the comments below. This should be fun, right? If you enjoyed the review, please give it a like. Also, don't forget to share and subscribe. I'm Chris. This is Movies and Munchies. Thanks for couching with me.